let's vary that slightly. If we go back down to here, but can we do let's do just a tar actually. So ta 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 ta, and really quite short. So ta 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 ta, and as we, even though they're short, make sure that they're still in tune. It's much harder to sing short notes in tune in a way because they don't have time to settle and center. So you have to be really careful. Ta 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 is that top one. Ta 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 ta. Okay, so ta 3, 4. Ta 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 ta. Ta 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 ta. Ta 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 ta. Ta 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 ta. Ta 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 ta. Ta 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 ta. Ta 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 ta. Ta 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 ta. Ta 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 ta. Ta 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 ta. Okay, and then let's just practice smooth legato. So just to an octave. So make that as smooth as you can. So 3, 4. Another one. One more. Okay. That will do for the moment. Let's look. I'd like to look at the very beginning of the piece. Page 3, page 3. And the first thing you sing in the concert. So it's hard to gauge when we can't hear each other, but what I need from these first 2 pages is that when you start, there's hardly anything, sotto voce, really quiet. But that doesn't mean wordless. I still need lots of consonants. And it's almost a sort of a whisper, a faint sort of primeval hum.
Sorry, James. Are we doing the creation again?
Yes.
Oh, good. Oh, great. That's fine.
Yeah. The recreation, yes. So, yeah, and it should stay. That you must resist the temptation to get louder until there's a sudden explosion on light. If you look on page 4, page 4, in bar 86, 86, it's suddenly forte. Now, some recordings put a crescendo through the bar before. I don't really want that. I want it to be a sudden explosion of light. So it's a soudain forte in 86, pas de crescendo dans 85, pas de crescendo. No crescendo in 85, everyone. So what that means is that you have to be even more fussy with your consonants. So, and especially when you sing "Let there be light," you really have to overdo those. So anyway, that's enough talking from me. Let's see what you remember. So I'll give you, so the bass finishes with And darkness was upon the face of the deep. And so, and 1 and 2 and. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. And God said, 2 and 3. Let there be light. And there was light. And then it's huge, and I just knocked my coffee off my piano. So, never mind. Good. So this is suddenly huge. You need to be careful of note lengths. So for example, in 84, in 84, pay attention to where the T goes. Attention au T of fin du parole light. You kind of you sort of place it as the chord comes in. So you sing, let there be light. Just a very, very quiet T, just as the chord's about to start from the orchestra. And it's the same with said in 82 with 82, although the D is less of a problem than the T, but and God said. Sopranos, I know that when you, on your Let There Be Light, there's only so quiet you can go up there, but we'll judge that when I can hear what you're doing. So the other thing to, yeah, if you go back to page 3, page 3, s'il vous plaît, you have to stagger your breathing. So there's no breaths. Which is just about okay for altos, tenors, and basses. Sopranos, you've got that extra bit, so just stagger if you need to. In other words, wait for your neighbor to breathe and then go after them. Although that involves someone taking the first plunge, but anyway. So I almost want it sort of, emotionless is not quite the right word, but quite passive. Oh, spirit, really hushed, no more than I'm sort of giving you now. And the spirit of God moved on the face of, and that's another place to be careful of, everyone. Face in bar 79, bar 79, pas de respirer après face. Don't breathe after face. Be careful where you put the s of face. So God moved on the face of the, make sure it's face of, not face of, face of the waters. Okay, so you don't need to sing any louder than this individually. That's all you need to do. But with lots of consonants. Okay, let's try that again, please. So I'll just give you, I won't give you the bass thing, I'll just give you the chords. So I'm going from the chords in bar 75. This is 75, so, and 1 and 2 and. Spirit of the face of the so let there be light, and there was light. And off. Make sure that's a whole bar, but I'll bring you off. That'll be easy for me to do when we're together. So
James,
yes,
it's Mel. I think we should all put in one of our little spectacles on bar 85 because it's not quite.
I was
in.
Yes, perfectly. Yes, I was literally just about to say that. So well done. Yeah, 85. I'll probably not be strictly in tempo, just to stretch it. So please watch. Yes, I don't want any premature light. So, and there was light, and then huge suddenly. I know you're only forte on light, but we might as well go for it because the orchestra's fortissimo, so we still want to be heard. Yes, thank you, Mel. That's a very good point. I mean, of course, everyone's watching me always anyway, but particularly in that bar, please. Good. So there's not a lot more I can do without hearing you, but to just remember that spirit of quietness and be careful. If you need to breathe early, make sure you don't put the final consonant on the end of the word. Obviously leave it out for things like spirit. So, okay, that's that. Now, then I want to look at your contributions to the next number, aria with chorus. So this is page 8, page 8. So you come in halfway through this tenor aria. Remember, sorry, I will, now that we've finished the whole thing, I will sit down and remember to finish off the notes for you that I promised. But just to remind you that I would like you to sing the small notes. So chanter les tons. What's small? I can't remember. If you're a bass, for example, in bar 78, 78 bass, sing both of those on rage, and tenors on rage. Sopranos in 83, sopranos in 83, rage, just to keep the shape of the phrase. Okay, when we've done this, but it's been a couple of months, so it's only really this opening bit that's tricky. So let's spend a bit of time on that. I'm just going to revise. Well, because I could say let's sing it to hear how you get on. I won't be able to know that, but let's just sing it through to bring it back to memory slowly. So can we start with, we'll have everyone from the bass entry, please, in bar 76. Tout le monde, 76, les basses ont commencé. That speed. So I'll give you 1, 2. So bass is ready. So 1 and 2. Tenors. Altos. Sopranos. So, and 1 and 2. let's just do that bit. So sopranos, I'm sorry, a top A at that tempo is horrible of me, but we'll speed up soon enough. Good. Let's just do basses. We'll just break it down again. Obviously, you need to sound full of, well, rage, really. Try and sound angry, please. And use the consonants to do that. So, despairing, cursing rage, lots of k on cursing. And if you want to roll your R's on rage slightly, that's fine. Despairing, cursing rage attends their rapid fall, rapid fall. So just really angry. Okay, just basses, please. Seulement les basses, 76, basses from bar 76. So 1 and 2. Sparing, cursing rage attends their rapid fall, and 1 and 2. Despairing, cursing rage attends their rapid fall. Yes, I would say you can roll your R's on rage, but probably not on rapid. That would sound a bit odd. So yeah. Good. So, and whenever you have that, this applies to everyone really, you've all got that octave leap. Really hit that octave. Sparing, cursing, and it's always on, well, it starts off always being on k, which is a great help. So you can really go for that. Despairing, cursing rage. Good. Angry, please. Let's do basses and tenors. 76. 76, les basses et donc les ténors après. Okay. So 1 and 2. Despairing, cursing, despairing, yes, and tenors, just be careful of at the end. Just from 86, that was. 96, tenors. Once more, please, tenors and basses, maybe just a touch slower. Okay, so this is 76 again, sorry, tenors and basses. 76. So 1 and 2. Tenors. Fine, and that should all be, you must maintain the anger, everyone, until bar 96. In bar 96, it's suddenly quiet again. So in 96, it's sotto voce, but until then, it's forte and angry. Okay, let's just have sopranos and altos, please. If we go from 80, so 90, altos and sopranos. Okay, so beginning with the altos and then sopranos joining. 1 and 2. Good, and that's a nice little phrase, altos at the end from 86 in 96. Really bring out that and make it sound as tragic as possible. Okay, once more, and we'll just slow that down slightly. Altos, you've got to go quite high, haven't you? You're frequently above the sopranos in this. Well, not frequently, but sometimes. So altos, I'll just play that for you. And here. Just make sure you find that D at the end of 84. Au fin du mesure 84, attention au Ré. Just altos, please, from 80, from 80, altos 1 and 2. Sorry, my fault. Once again, 1 and 2. Yes. The basses give you a D actually just before you sing it, if that helps. It might not, but there is a D there. And the sopranos actually sing a D just in your rest as well. Okay, sopranos and altos together, please. 80, 80, sopranos and altos. So 1 and 2. Okay, let's put that all together, please, from bass entry. Okay, so after 2 basses, this is from 76, 76. So 1 and 2. And 1 and 2. Fine. So then you're still loud there, and then when you come back in, very quiet. Not quite as hushed as the beginning of the piece, but a new created world, a new created world springs up. And remember the breathing from before. If you have a comma, you breathe. S'il y a une virgule, donc vous respirez. S'il n'y a pas une virgule, ne respirez pas. So you sing a new created world, a new created world springs up at God's command. And that pattern continues, the breathing pattern continues throughout the following sections. So again, the danger is that you get loud too soon, but this should all be quiet. From pages 9 and 10 are all quiet. Les pages 9 et 10 sont piano, seulement piano, sottovoce. And then it's loud again briefly on 11, and then mezzo piano on 11 as well, but we'll come to that in a bit. So let's do page 9, page 9, s'il vous plaît. So it's sottovoce, a new created. So you can do but with lots of consonants, so created world. Okay, let's go straight in for now. So slightly under tempo. So 1 and 2. World, off. Go through, springs up, and 2 and 1 and 2. Off. Go through. So that should all be quiet. Yeah. I can't, we'll have to wait until we can hear that before we get the sound right, but just try and imagine it as sing with a bit of excited wonder at seeing the newly created world. So then by contrast, we have page 11, which goes back to the anger. So it's loud on page 11, page 11 c'est forte, and then in bar 127, 127, it's mezza voce, so it's not as quiet as the sotto voce, it's kind of a halfway, so mezza voce, louder than before, but still quite contained. And then you stay mezza voce until bottom of page 12, when you suddenly just sing forte for the last 4 bars. So c'est mezza voce jusqu'à mesure 144, qu'on est forte soudainement au fin du chœur. Fine, let's try that. So can we go from, well, let's go back to page 9, please. Page 9, 96. What's that? 94. No, 96. So a new created world. So 1 and 2. Created world. Springs up, springs up. It falls down, they sink in the deep abyss to endless night. Springs up, springs up for add 1 and 2. So it's suddenly, outburst. Springs up at God's command. And altos and basses really make use of the fact that that's quite high to give us a bit of a frisson. Springs up at God's command, and lots of spr for everyone, please. Good. Just be careful on page 12, on page 12, the last time we sing this music, but the chords are a bit different. So from 136, 136, it's, but then this one, it's that 140, 140, the G major chord. So just be careful of that. So I don't think any individual line is particularly difficult there. Just basses, be careful when you're dropping between 139 and 140. Les basses, 139 et 140. You created world springs up. And then everybody, respirez dans mes yeux 141. Everybody breathe after up in 141. So it's you created world springs up, springs up. Good. And
James,
yeah.
one little. Do you want us to resist the temptation to crescendo through bars 139? It's a temptation to crescendo again, isn't it? Up to the fourth thing.
Especially when you get those sort of spooky chords, then
yeah.
Please resist, or try and resist.
D'accord.
Yeah, and then that'll make the forte all the more exciting. Tenors in 143, just to remind you, those are equal quavers. So tenors in 143, it's croche égale. Springs up at God's command, springs up at God's command, with those appoggiaturas there. Right. I think, Sarah, sorry, I know you've queued up the other one. Do you want, is it a pain to ask you to find this chorus as well?
No, I can try. I've got, I think this is the, let me try this one. I think this is it. It's going to take a little while. While it's coming up, just a little point I think would be worth saying is that it's, we say despairing in English, don't we? Even though it's spelt despairing. I think that's a bit of a
despair. Yeah, despair.
You
yes.
say despair, and I sometimes want to sing despairing because that's how it looks. But yes.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, despairing, cursing rage. And make sure
James,
rage, not rage. Yes.
Yes. James, we only curse, I notice, the first time in bars 76 and so on. The next time it comes in, it's despairing, rage, despairing. Alas, we only get one opportunity to curse.
Oh no, you've got a second curse in 84, I suppose. Despairing, cursing, rage. You've got two.
Oh yes, two. Sorry, yes. But then when it comes again,
well, yes, he only does it. It's because it's a much shortened. He only does it when you've got that octave leap up to the curse, and because that doesn't happen. Yeah, so you'll have to, make your first two curses count. Yeah, it's a truncated one on page 11, so you don't get to curse again, I'm afraid. Despairing rage, but you can, yes, that brings up a good point actually. In 122, when song 22, you can make up for it with a rolled R on rage down the bottom there, basses. Despairing rage, despairing. Give it a lot of a rolled rage, but not a rolled rapid, please. I think that was odd.
Okay, so I found a score that would do, a version that would do, if that's okay. This is the chorus. This is of the the soloist who starts on page 7. Is that okay? C'est page 7. Le soloiste qui commence page 7. J'espère que vous allez écouter ça. Voilà. Dis-moi qui... Soixante-huit, 69, 10, 72.
Great, thank you. Yes, they almost resisted the temptation to crescendo until just the very last couple of bars, but we'll try and resist to the end. Good, I hope that was all right. And that's that speed is probably will be mine as well. So if you can sing it at that tempo, that's very good. Right, now for the rest of, I'm intrigued to hear this piano version of the. I think for the rest of today we should jump back to the final chorus, and because that's quite hard, and we'll look at some more of that. So this is 145, please. 145. Well, 144, 144 actually. So what we'll do is we'll sing through the chorus slowly with me, and then we'll try it with this other recording, which is Sarah promises is slower. We'll see. Okay. So this is the beginning of number 31 on page 144. Numéro 31, page 144. Sing the Lord, ye voices all. So 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 2. then for the moment we'll go 3 and 4 and 1. So, and basses. So, and 1 and 2. 1 and 2. How did you do? I have no idea what you're doing. But anyway, that should have been the end of your first section on 148. We stopped on bar 36, 36. Yeah, it's hard to know what to do without knowing what you're doing well and not so well. Are there any, does anybody want to shout out, are there any bits that, any particular bars that anybody's having particular difficulty with in terms of finding a note?
Well, I missed my note on Van Nerf 29. Of course, if I had the tenor singing, I would know what the note was, but I missed that note. I don't know why, because and I find that when we have men of our men on a quaver, it's ever so, you do snatch. I go men.
Yes. Yes, it's difficult, isn't it? Because you've got to, that's where you're trying to snatch a breath. And it's hard not to, go, amen, the Lord is great. Yeah, amen, the Lord is great. Yeah, that's just try and stop yourself from doing that. I'll just sort of give you that, we'll look at that a bit on 147. So altos, yes, it is sort of a continuation of the tenor phrase, isn't it? So maybe I need to just play that out a bit more. But in bar 27, 27, so the tenors have. So if you imagine it as a continuation of the tenors, for the moment, you could just sort of hum along with the tenors, and then you know you've got your first note. So, the Lord is great, his praise shall last for amen. Yeah, so you're right, it's easy with the tenors. Yeah, I'll try and help you with that next time. Okay, I think we should, let's do that again, just at that speed, just to bring it all back. And in terms of dynamics, there's not a lot to do really, but what you could do is just shape the phrase a bit more. So whenever you've got the Lord is great, his praise, it's that T on great. The Lord is great, his praise shall last forever. And it's just trying to sound a bit more enthusiastic. The Lord is great, his praise shall last and just remember that it's A, but then amen. So last for so remember to switch to R on amen.
Right at the beginning,
Yes.
tout au début, the orchestra plays a forte chord and then quavers piano. Do we make any difference, or do we just sing forte throughout the note?
No, I think you should sing forte, and then they're just kind of accenting you as they come back to forte. That's for yes, that should stay forte for you, please. But until yes, in bar 3, I think you should come down to piano. So measure 3 piano, and then back to forte in bar 5. Measure 5, c'est forte aussi. And then you stay forte after that. And also in bar 3, just something to remind you of, you should breathe after the first utter. So respirer après the premier utter. So utter, utter. It's a proper phrasing off there. So utter, utter, thanks surely his words. Okay, yeah, so then the orchestra just sort of hits you on sing and Lord, but you should stay loud. Okay, again, please. I'll just give you the end of the tenor recitative. So the tenor sings, and more to know, as know you should. So, and 1 and 2 and. And quiet now. Breath. 1 and loud again. And stay loud. Hold it. Yes, so there's that high should stay loud. There's trumpets and timpani underneath you there, so it should sound quite sort of almost martial or military, not quite military, but you know what I mean. So keep it going. High. And then, yeah, okay, right, let's do that once more, please. So this is the end of the recitative. And more to know, as know ye should. So, and 2 and. And piano. And 4. So, and off. So 3 and 4 and 1. And 1. So, and 1 and 2. Okay, Was that a bit better, that altos that time, that entry? I tried to give you the tenor part there. Hope that was okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Good. Shall we sing along to a recording, please?
We can try. We will find it. I'm not sure where it starts, actually. Let me just have an experiment.
Mhm.
Oh. Okay, go straight in without the recit, as you heard. Yes?
That's fine. Yep. So as long as everybody's ready. Yep.
So we'll have to just be ready. They're taking a breath. I could share the vision as well, but I won't, the view. So here we go, I'm afraid. It was the same pitch, wasn't it? Yum-bum.
What page is it?
31,
What page is it?
144. 144. Starting right in on the chorus, I'm afraid, without
144.
the recit. Here we go.
Ça démarre tout de suite.
Whether you want to go on.
That's fine for now. Thank you very much. So it sounds, yes, it's piano and organ.
Yes,
Sounds odd.
yes,
Yes.
there's an organ in there too. I really.
Yes, I could hardly hear it, although it's useful for the bass line because you could hear the piano hitting out notes every now and again. Okay, so that's more my kind of speed. So if you're doing well with that speed just now, then that's good. Again, as I was singing along, the thing that just gets me all the time is going from A to R. Amen. So just really drill that in. I keep getting stuck on that myself, especially if it's a quick change. Like bar 31, measure 31, lost for a amen. Just make sure that amen is good in tenors and basses. Okay. Let's go. Well, let's go on, but let's go on with me for the moment rather than the recording. So this is, you see how it flies by when you're singing it. We're almost at the end of the piece. So this is page 148, page 148, bar 40, mesure 40, tenors to start. So let's recap slowly from 40, 40. So after 3, 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, so just a few things. Altos, you're very important in this last chorus in quite a few places because you kind of bring us back to the main material. So on page 150, 150, in bars 52 and 55, mesures 52 et 55, really bring those out. Because you're returning to the opening there. Particularly in 55, because that's just you. You could really go for that there. Good. Let's just yeah, sopranos, whenever you have, I think it comes twice. I can only find one of them now. In bar 53, mesures 53, really accent the F. So, amen, amen, amen. Just after you've enjoyed that syncopation there. Amen, amen. Okay. I'd like to just hear a couple of bits on their own. Well, say here, play a couple of bits on their own. Just be careful. It's some of the accidentals, really. That's the thing to catch you out in this passage is within a single bar, you'll have flats and naturals. Dans une mesure, il y a bécard et bémol, or bémol et dièse or something. So for example, altos, bar 47, 47 pour les altos, it's fa dièse et donc fa bécard. So just getting back to that F natural that will come with time. And then altos, your next one from 48, from 48 altos is just going back to the A natural, just retourner au La bécard. So that's something to be careful of. Same with basses in bar 51. 51, les basses. Vous avez Fa dièse et Fa bécard aussi. So it's just familiarity with that. Practice that a few times very slowly. C'est un peu difficile to get those differentiated. And also tenors, from where you start, be careful in 42 tenors, 42, that those chromatic. But then the B natural in 43, bécard dans 43, there's C bécard, but then. Okay, let's just try that again, everyone, slowly, and then we'll sing to the tape. Well, the YouTube tapes. Who has tapes these days? Okay. Okay, so this is bar 40, everyone. Mesure 40, tout le monde, page 148, page 148. Okay, so tenors begin 1 and 2 and 3. Good. And then altos, just be careful of those notes when you're finding your D in bar 59. 59, c'est un petit peu difficile pour le ré altos. So 57 altos, 57 altos, you've got. And then the basses go. The Lord is great. So it's just up from the basses. The Lord is great. And watch that A flat as well. Attention au La bémol dans mesure 59. Okay, can we try, let's go from, is it easier just to go from the beginning again, Sarah, of the recording? I'm quite happy for that to happen. And then we just.
Yes, okay. Otherwise we could, yes, all right, I'll go back to the beginning. Hang on. So here we go. I'll go as the conductor waves his arm, so you know when to come in.
They do quite a long S at the beginning, I noticed, so that's the clue as well. Yeah.
And they also sing t, don't they? Quite short.
Yeah, they mimic the orchestra rests there, but I'd only want the t to be short, I think. Yeah. Well, I'll think about that. But for now, I'll sing yeah.
Okay, here we go. So I will take a breath as the conductor does the upbeat, and then you know. We can go on if you like.
Yeah, no, not just yet. No, thank you. That's fine. Now, something that occurred to me because it caught me out is I've never actually, on page 148, we've never really picked that up from the soloist. We've always gone straight in, and it might be quite a tricky entry. So I just want to spend a moment bringing you back in at the bottom of 148, 148. So essentially the problem, well, not problem, but the issue is for the tenors to find their B flat. Now, how do you do that? Good question. No one really, the soloists don't really sing a B flat very much, or not helpfully anyway. The soprano line from the top of the page, you get so that's your, I mean, and then basses, you've got to find that. That's, if you listen to the, or if you look at the orchestral, actually it's the same note as the basses, you should be all right because it's the same note that the solo bass finishes on. So if you're, pour les basses, c'est le même, c'est sol. So the soloist, le basse soliste chante. The Lord is great. So you have the same note. So this is from 39, le soliste, le basse. The Lord is great, his praise. So in a way, basses, you should ignore the tenors when they're coming in and just try and listen out for the bass soloist. The Lord is great, his praise shall last for a. So that should be okay for the basses there. The Lord is great, his praise shall last for a. Tenors, though, we've still got you. The Lord is great. So just try and find that from, we're in the right key for you. The Lord is great. So you just have to try and remember that, really. I don't think there's really anything else to help you soloist-wise. No. So this is from, I'll play from bar 36 slowly, tenors. This is 36 lentement. So you get the Lord is great. So that's just have to try and remember that, really. So the bottom of 39, 39 is the Lord is great, his grace. So that's where to try and find that, really. And then sopranos, you need to be ready at the end of 41, 41 sopranos there with. So it's sort of, well, it's the same note as the tenors in a different octave. So as long as the tenors are right, then you can take over from them, because adjusting for your octave, they will just have sung, the Lord is great, his praise, the Lord is great, his praise. So you just take over the phrase. And then altos, that's the same note for you down an octave. So I hope that makes a bit of sense. Can we try that again with the recording, not from the beginning, but is there any chance, Sarah, you could find just the end of the first chorus section just before that solo bit starts on page 148? Is that a pain?
I can try. Just talk amongst yourselves, as they say, while I just find it. I'll just play a bit randomly.
know.
I
Too
know
late.
I could move it on a little bit, but
That was too late. That was the right music, but the second time. So you need to go back a bit.
oh, was it? All right, okay. I'll go
I
back.
think, unless I'm.
It's very hard to find out where it is. Sorry?
That's too late. That's 150. So you need to go back a bit more, I think.
You reckon?
Yeah, because that was in bar 4. That was the right, but the second time, because it's got that E natural the second time. Yeah.
Okay, let me just check where we are then. Let me try back a bit. This is it. This is it. Soloist.
Yeah, here we are. Yeah.
Sorry, did you want to go on or?
That's fine. Thank you. Yeah. So I hope that made a bit more sense. Tenors and basses, finding your note there. I certainly found it easier that time through, just having thought about it for a bit. Good. Okay. So then, yeah, the next, they've only got, well, the rest is easier. So just remember, before we sing it through, on page 152, 152, bar 70, 70 onwards, we're starting forte, but then I want you to come down, and I do want a crescendo this time. So 70, c'est forte, et donc piano soudainement avec un crescendo au forte dans mes yeux 74. So crescendo all the way through to bar 74. And the other just bit of breathing to remember is in bar 80, 80, mes yeux, pas de virgule, so ne respirez pas après great. It's the only time in the whole chorus I don't want you to take the quaver off great, and because it's the last time. The Lord is great, his praise shall last forever. So go through there. The Lord is great, his praise shall last forever. And then remember, amen, amen. More eyes on me, please. It's the last 4 bars of the piece. The words are very simple. It's just amen, amen. So please watch me, because we'll stretch those slightly. Okay, I'm about to run out of time. Why don't we just, I know we've just done a bit of it, but just for fun, then shall we sing that? Let's do the whole chorus. It can only help to repeat it a few more times. So let's go right back to 144, page 144, 144, the beginning of Sing the Lord, please.
Okay.
All the way through.
Okay, I'll do the same exercise. I will take a breath so that you have an idea where you're coming in, otherwise it's tricky. So
Redémarre à 144.
Ok, tout le monde. I shall go. Quand vous respirez pour commencer. Here we go.
And yes, give yourselves a round of applause as well. Just one tiny thing before I stop, just because that caught me out both times we sang it through, is something in the bass part, which now I won't be able to find. Yes, in bar 44, 44, les basses, make sure that's A natural, la bécale. Both times I wanted to sing an A flat. So his praise shall last for A, but it's his praise shall last for A. Make sure that's A natural. La bécale. You may have been doing that already, but my instinct was to sing A flat because we had quite a lot of A flats before. So just make that nice and bright. Good. Okay. Thank you very much. I'm out of time now. So we've got one more session next week before Easter. We'll do some more tidying, but I hope that final chorus is coming along now. I think it's a bit easier at that speed as well, rather than the one we had last week. So thank you, Sarah, for finding that.
That's okay. And to give them honour, it's the Toronto Mendelssohn Choir.
Very good. Okay, well, we'll leave it there, and I'll see you again next week. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thanks, James.
Thank you,
Thank you.
James.
Just one final thing, James, unless you haven't gone.
No,
Is that where you were thinking that Kath would be joining us? Is it that last chorus?
for the last chorus, Catherine will come out and join the solo. Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you.
Did say yes last year, so I'll have to check with her again, but I'm sure she'll be still happy to do it. Yes. Yeah. Great. Thank you. Okay, see you, everyone. Bye.
Thanks, James.
Au revoir.